Hello. Now I'll be looking at the question type of fill in the blanks which comes in verbal. So fill in the blanks will be of many types. One type is when you would have an entire paragraph in which certain blanks will be there. Most of the times there are 10 in number and that you have to fill, and this will be 10 different questions. And the other times you will have one sentence which will be present which will have one or two blanks and you have to fill it using the appropriate word. There is another type of fill in the blanks question which we will be seeing right now, which says that there will be a set of sentences that will be given to you. So there are 4 sentences given here and it is followed by 4 options. Each sentence has a blank and that blank can be filled by one word, and we have to find out which option fits in the most number of sentences. So the direction says that choose from among the given alternatives the one which will be suitable to fill the blank in most of the sentences. Now a couple of things are very important here. All these 4 sentences are different, they are contextually different, so it is possible that all of them would be it's possible that there would not be one word which will fill all these 4 blanks, but we have to find the maximum number of blanks that can be filled using one word. So we'll look at a couple of questions and then you will be able to understand how exactly to solve these questions. So let's see the first question. The first question says that there are 4 statements here, and the first statement says that professional studies have become the dash of the rich. The second statement says every citizen has the dash to speak, travel and live as she pleases. Third sentence says he has a definite dash over all his rivals. And fourth sentence says Sheldon no longer has the dash of the company's residence and car. Now we have to fill these questions, fill these blanks using a particular word. Now a good way to approach these questions is by not looking at the options as soon as you see the question, and try to fill the blanks using words which are there in your mind. So it is a good practice in almost all the fill in the blanks questions, be it if you want to complete a paragraph or individual words you have to find out, or you want to complete or you want a set of words which are there in a particular sentence or something like that. In any of these cases, it's a very good idea to not look at the options and figure out what could be the words or what could be the contextual meaning that would be asked, which would be helpful to us in filling this blank. So professional studies have become the dash of the rich. Now if rich are present here and professional studies is present here, then it tells us that rich people are the only ones who are able to take the advantage of professional studies, or they are probably the privileged ones who would be able to get into professional studies, and unfortunately poor people would not be able to afford or not get into professional studies. So professional studies have become something, we can say it's a privilege that only the rich are able to enjoy. The second statement says that every citizen has the dash to speak, travel and live as she pleases. This is a very easy one. You can say that every citizen has the right. So there are a few basic rights which are present, and this sentence probably tries to tell us that every citizen has the right to speak, travel and live. So it's pretty clear that there should be right here. So we will simply write RIGST here. So this is something that we would keep in mind. He has a definite dash over all his rivals. So it could be he has a definite dash over all his rivals. It could be an edge, an advantage, something which he has, which makes him stand above all his rivals. So something on the lines of an edge, we write edge or advantage or whatever. The fourth thing is Sheldon no longer has the dash of the company's residence and car. So again, first blank, let us fill using privilege. And finally Sheldon no longer has the dash of the company's residence and car. Again, if you are working for some company and you get a residence and a car as a part of your job, say for example you get some perks which will help you travel and live in some locality, then that is something which is a privilege which you get. If you are associated with a company, then there will be some privileges that you will be getting. So you can again say that this could be privilege. So as of now it's pretty clear that again in this sentence, rich were the ones who were benefiting and they were able to get professional studies. A similar contextual thing can be found here. When Sheldon was working with the company, then he had a residence in car. So rich and employee and being an employee, and residence and car versus professional studies. So these two questions are contextually similar. So the same word should fill both the blanks here. So let's see what the options are. The first option says advantage. So as we saw, advantage it fitted in option C. So advantage will fit in only one sentence from what we can see. Privilege, again we have written privilege here twice, so it fills 2 sentences. Right was 1 sentence only. Concession is something which we could not fit in any of the sentences, so it will be a 0. So we can say that privilege is the one word that comes in two sentences, and so that is your correct answer. So again, it's very important for you to not look at the options once you see the question, and then figure out what the contextual meaning is, what words can fit in, and you have to be very meticulous when you are dealing with words, because advantage, privilege, right, concession, all of them probably mean more or less the same thing. So advantage is something which you have over the others. So advantage is something which is used in comparison. So if you have something, then you are at an advantage over someone, or you have an advantage over someone. So advantage is always used in comparison. Privilege is something which you get, which not the people who are not in a similar position, they would not be able to enjoy that thing. So that is a privilege. Right is something which is given to a lot of people. So rights will be something which many people will have. In this case, all the citizens would have had rights. So that is something which is across a larger area. And concession is something that you will get because you are at some position, you will get a leeway to do something. So you will get a concession saying that you can skip certain things, or you can probably avail some facilities if you are at some particular stage. So a common example is your railway concessions, and also if you are say a senior citizen, or if you are a student, then you get concessions which will help you travel by paying a lesser amount. So it is something like that. So it's not really a privilege or a right, but it is something that you will get because you have achieved something, or probably because you are something. Okay, so that is how this thing goes. I'll solve the second question as well. The third question you can try out on your own. People sensed dash a bad dash case had come in, a person with a smashed knee. A bad dash case had come in, a person with a smashed knee, and then without warning dash struck. And then without warning dash struck. And the fourth sentence is, the dogs were the first to recognize the signs of oncoming dash. Okay, so people sensed something. So people sensed that we can see that all these questions deal with some tragedy or some accident or something. So something bad is about to happen. So people sensed something, that people sensed danger, or people sensed that something untoward was about to happen. So we will simply write a danger here, danger or some untoward activity that is going to happen. A bad dash case had come in. A person with a smashed knee. So smashed knee talks about an accident. So we'll simply say it's a bad accident case had come in. Third sentence, it's pretty straightforward. And then without warning disaster struck. So you can simply write disaster here. It's a very commonly used sentence. So disaster struck is something that can be used here. And finally, the dogs were the first to recognize the signs of oncoming. So oncoming, some calamity or some natural phenomenon was supposed to happen, and the dogs were the first to recognize. You would have seen it or read it in most of the cases that when an earthquake is about to happen, or when there is a cyclone which is about to happen, then probably animals would have far better senses as compared to humans. So they are the first ones to recognize. So something like that. So some calamity or something, a natural calamity, or some untoward incident again. Okay, so now let's look at the options. The first option says tragedy. Now tragedy, we cannot really see. In second sentence, tragedy cannot come. First sentence, we had danger here, but people sense tragedy is something which you cannot sense. Tragedy is something which happens. So you cannot sense something tragic happening. Once something happens, you can see that it was a tragedy. So first sentence, again, it will not be there. Again, oncoming tragedy is something that you cannot really say, and tragedy struck, again, you cannot really say that. So we can rule out tragedy. Accident, only one blank fills. Other blanks had nothing to do with accident, so only one. Disaster we had, okay, people sense disaster probably is a good fill in the blank here. And then without warning disaster struck is again a good thing, so we can put 2 in front of disaster. Calamity, only one blank would fill calamity, as we saw. So it's again disaster. That disaster is the one which will be the correct answer in this scenario. So that is how you should go about filling the blanks questions. These are very rare. You will not find a lot of questions which will be like this. So probably it's a good idea to practice a few questions and then let your instincts take over, because you should be aware of how things work, because tragedy, accident, disaster and calamity, all of them mean the same, more or less. So if you are talking to a lay person, you might replace one word for the other, but then if you want to talk in a good manner or in a grammatically correct manner, then probably you should know the subtle differences that are there between these words. Again, if you are well read and probably if you can understand contextual meanings in a better manner, then it would be good. But if you don't know, again, these questions are pretty straightforward, and it's better if you solve them quickly and move ahead instead of wasting time on these questions, because it will not take much time for you to solve these questions. But then again, even an accuracy of 40% or 60%, so 2 or 3 correct out of 5, that much should be enough. That much should make you happy, because again, you will have an investment of 2 or 3 minutes, and if you are gaining 2 or 3 marks out of it, then your 1 mark per minute equation still holds true, and that will help you gain marks and move to the next question, which will probably fetch you a better accuracy. So I hope that this video has cleared the concepts regarding fill in the blanks. You can have a look at our other videos as well for other such concepts. Thank you.